And welcome back, everybody. This is the Refresh Point, and as always, I'm joined by my constant co-host, and just to milk it one more time, world champion, Steve. Steve, how's it going?
You know, pretty good. Been a long week, but we're at the end of it, and we're looking forward to some Weiss Schwarz.
Yeah, you know, just that was the one more time we said we'd milk it, and there it is.
There it is.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we also lied a little bit at the end of the last episode. We are not recording this before the Houston Spring Fest. It is actually now after. Many Spring Fests have now come and gone. But what's really most important is that I got a little salty run back on Steve with Revue Starlight. Ew! But, jokes aside, we have a lot more decks to parse through. Some sifting through to see what's fake, what's real, and more updates on those commissions y'all got for us. And then some new ones that came up in between. Because, like, basically a whole month rolled over, and I got another revue commission to jam in. So, go ahead, shuffle your decks, tap or cut, and we'll get right into the Refresh Point with some breaking news. Springfest results! Woo! We got 3 of them!
Yeah, so
so much.
yeah, we did Springfest Houston over the weekend, and yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Neither of us won.
Neither of us won, but
we both got top 8.
We both got top 8,
and you guys got 3rd.
And Billy and Jon got 3rd.
Yeah.
While I was on the team.
That's good.
So I was playing Revue Starlight because I was like, I feel like it's like 2 people got top 8 with it in the fall season, and I feel like it's good enough on like a good day to like make a break, like a push through,
sure,
and just go for it.
Right.
Like the finisher is good enough. Like it's like a standard finisher, and you have like, you know, a good enough like early games, just like finagle your way through it. You don't really care about the Chainsaw Man board. You can run like bombs without penalty. You know, like you have like some nice, really nice zero lineup to work with. That like clean cuts and bombs are kind of in vogue right now, especially a level 1 3k cleanup for some fucking reason. And so I was like, yeah, we'll just send it. I love Revue Starlight. It's teams. I got 2 good teammates, and those fuckers carried me to 3rd place because I went 3 and 6. Oh!
Nice.
I've never taken so much clean damage in my life. Help! Ah!
Yeah.
It was like the fakest 3rd place finish in the world. It's like, it's the worst part is it was actually exactly like Houston last fall with slime. I just walked up, got my ass handed to me, just like clean damage right down the pipe. It's even worse because we were like, where do we think Chainsaw Man goes? Oh, maybe in B. No, all those fuckers were in A. I had 4 Chainsaw Mans, and every single Chainsaw Man matchup, what happened? Play a climax, double trigger stock soul, i.e. 12. I'm at 2-4. They're at 1-0. Congratulations to me.
Yeah, I guess I got lucky. You know what? I ended up running into a whole bunch of Texas teams, and all the Texas teams kind of had a relatively gentleman's agreement that we
all
would
the
not,
Dallas teams shook hands and went like Chainsaw Man to B slide.
Yeah. So I faced one Chainsaw Man all day, and I scammed him in the most scamerific way possible, where I am at 3-2. He triple Ackies, and somehow I don't die, and then he loses the game. I was like, I don't know how we got here, but I'm alive.
Got him.
So yeah,
Easy.
TLDR World Champ Diff.
World Champ Diff. True,
Yeah.
true. That's why you were one of my 3 wins today.
Yeah, that game was very strange.
That was very scuffed.
There was a few games like that though, where like
Yeah.
I thought I had kind of gotten used to the play pattern of like when I play Caligura, it often feels like the play pattern at the end game is I tank their finisher, and like that has to be done, and then if I live, the game's won, and if I don't live, the game's over. And the difference was I died a lot more than I did like last fall and during Worlds. I just died a lot. Where it was like, I'm in 2-4, everything's probably fine, and then I'm just dead.
No.
And I was like,
I just die? Yeah.
Like, against 2 different Dallas players, which were 2 of my 3 losses, you and one other, I literally, like, was 2-5 or less, and then just all of it. Just all of it. Like, right in a row.
The absolute fucking funniest part here is that I even beefed it, like, in a way that was, like, it was technically reasonable to try to go for it, but like the reality of the situation was that burn 2 was better than check 3.
Yeah.
So you had 5 cards left in your deck.
Yep.
You're like, I think you had already taken the damage to go to 3, or
I was at
this
2-5.
is the swing. Okay, this is the swing. And so I thought that there were 2 climaxes left in your deck, and or you drew it, which is like, you know, either way, can't tell. And if I check 3 and even see 1 and the other cancels, then like the other swings and like burn 2s are like more likely to stick.
Yeah.
If I burn 2 and swing and it just all cancels, and it's like kind of like
the game's kind of over. Yeah.
Game's either kind of over or kind of like the same outcome in a sense of like we rip out a cancel and we cancel with the swing.
Yeah.
What happens is that I check 3, it's all clean. He reshuffles the deck, I trigger a soul, and I sink the 4.
Yeah, so there was 1 in there, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. Like, that, failing to...
And then, because, okay, so then the next swing, it's the revue Starlight door finisher. So the Hikari that changes the changer out swings, obviously blocks on 1, refresh 5, the Hikari changes the Karen into an open lane. So it's burn 2 and like swing 5 on the fresh deck, and he just eats it. Oh.
Yeah, the difference in blocking that versus not blocking that 4 was tremendous. It's just like I lost 9 cards of compression and a climax, and yeah, that was the whole game. So goes to show you that 80% may not be enough. If you need to block something, that number may not be high enough.
It's honestly funny that like that kind of thing even happened again like recently when I was just like randomly playtesting over webcam. Shout out to you. I can't remember the username off the top of my head. I'm really bad with names in general. Shout out to you, person that was playing Cardcaptor Sakura in the Weiss Schwarz Discord server. This gentleman, I'm playing like the Mahu bar finisher, just, you know, for fun, because, you know, Springfest is over, and even though I'm playing another one in like 2 months, you know, we can take a little bit of time off.
Sure.
And so I like clock kick. The comment was like clock kick, check the top or bottom, whatever.
Okay.
And he has like a deck of 7, and there's a climax in there. And I check the top, and it's clean. I'm like, well, this next vanilla swing is gonna block, and I'm gonna lose the game. And what instead happens is that he eats 5 to go to 3-6, and now he can't heal, he draws the climax, and can't do anything. And we lose the entire game instantly. Yeah.
That's the thing, is that, I mean, sometimes, yeah, it wasn't meant to be. So that's okay.
That's okay.
That round we all lost.
Yeah, my team's like, goated. I picked the best team ever.
It was just like, all 3 of us had the same record during the tournament.
Yeah, wait, actually just fully the same record? Yeah. That's hilarious.
And so, like, everything was kind of fine. That was the get back for the game I scammed away, honestly. But yeah, it was just a very tough day overall. It felt like I had a lot. We didn't
even shout out to the Oklahomies that won the whole tournament. Boys with skill issues, which fought boys with cancels in the finals.
Wow.
So it's guaranteed, we all know. All right, in case you didn't know, now we all know. Boys with skill issues over boys with cancels.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
And I
don't make the rules.
No, I mean, it's just definitive proof now. But yeah, we end up playing, for the people that don't live in this region, we end up going to Oklahoma a couple times a year because their local store hosts these like biannual kind of like regional events that are like of medium size. It's bigger than a local, but it's smaller than a regional, and it's really good because we get to, you know, it's like us and Oklahoma and some of the people from like Arkansas and that region, like we kind of get together and play a little event for regional pride. And yeah, we've kind of been their father for like the last few years, though I did hand back over that tournament last time we did it.
Yeah.
By getting second.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they really, I mean, they stomped. Like they had everything going on. So yeah, congrats to those guys.
They got our ass.
Really, really well played. They literally beat like some of the best Texas teams. So like, congrats, congrats to them.
Yeah,
There's no sugarcoating that. You guys did great.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really cool. Also, besides that Springfest, there were 2 other ones. The UK and California. Where California was basically locals, the team regional, in top 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6. It was like even worse than us. I think we had like 3 Dallas and 1 Houston? Question mark?
Yeah.
Okay, 3 Dallas, 1 Houston. They had 5 like California teams in top 8, and it's just like, yep. Wonder how that happens. Crazy. And in the UK, I'm not, our friends across the pond, I'm not as tapped in there, unfortunately. But it was a bunch of good Weiss all around the world, all around. While we're in breaking news, while we're in breaking news, just like today, this morning, Hololive Summer!
Yeah, and the Ambassador set, both of those. So, those are fine.
They exist.
I definitely...
Yay!
Yeah. I mean, there's a few cards there, but we're basically... I think Hololive's going to enter its Bang Dream phase now. Where, like, we keep printing cards, but they don't actually do anything. They're just, like... variations on a theme in different gens.
More Aqua Zeros.
Yeah.
More Aqua Zeros.
We can now run 12 of them.
More Aqua Zeros.
I don't know why, but we can. So if you were ever worried about like not opening that card, I mean, there's a way now where you can definitely like open it.
Is it in yellow?
It is.
It is.
There's 2 different yellow ones.
So if you couldn't get La Plus because it was in like a premium booster, it was like a little hard, it was a little expensive.
Yeah.
A new one! Yeah. Another one!
Yeah, we
More
got you.
Aqua profiles. It's even a duplicate color-wise. You can't miss!
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing, but at the same time, Hololive's in such a weird place. I was discussing this with somebody else, but it's a weirdly fragile set where it's literally 2 restricts away from being unplayable. And being on a knife's edge like that means you have a whole bunch of cards that are kind of just like dead weight. And these 2 sets aren't dead weight, but they're not gonna add anything. Like,
people are ready.
You know
what people are ready for? Because JP didn't get Guilty Gear, people are ready for the Moonster.
Yeah, that card is wild, but if it's one of those cards that if it gets blocked, you just throw the whole deck away, I suppose. But
I mean, it's the same thing with Potemkin, right?
It's even more so. Even more so. Like, it's leaning even harder.
Like, no, they're literally like the same card. It's like on reverse. Sure, you get 5 with Mume, and then you only get 4 with Potemkin.
They only have one chance to block. They only have 1 chance to block with Potemkin. They have 2 chances to block with Mume.
Oh, do they get to do it multiple times?
No, but it's stack 3 and then burn.
Yeah.
So.
And then Potemkin is now stack 3 and then burn.
Right, but 1 is burn 4, which means you have 1 card you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
with burn 5.
No. Mume lets you stack the deck.
Yes, they both stack the deck.
No. A secondary 2/1 assist lets you stack a deck, stack like the opponent on reverse. So now it's like you stack 4.
I gotcha.
Okay, yeah.
But that's not part of the combo though.
It's not technically part of the combo, but by God, it is part of the combo. You're fucking running it, yeah.
Sure, but I don't know all the cards.
Yeah. Well, now you know.
I read the 1 card in isolation, and I was like, sure.
Well, now you know. It's basically the same as Potemkin. but now it's 5 instead of 4.
And we need another part of it to make it
And we need another part of it.
to make it really work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's gonna get blocked.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, all the VTuber homies can get more cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly good news for people who are interested in any of the Hololive Ambassador characters. So
True.
that's Miko and Suisei and Muna and Kiara.
Yep.
So if you like those characters, you're gonna have a lot more, like, you guys have opportunities to pick up some cards that might be more usable than some of their current cards. But yeah, it's totally fine. So that's good.
Yeah. Was there any other announcements?
I don't think so.
I don't think
We're kind of
so.
entering into a weird part of the season. Where,
Honestly, it was kind of a surprise that we got these 2 announcements.
yeah, we're gonna be entering into a little bit of a weird dead zone. We're gonna have Springfest, but we kind of know what's coming out for the next few months, and a lot of it.
Yeah. Oh, Licorice came out today.
Yes.
Yeah.
As of this recording, yeah, the Light Chorus set is out,
Yeah.
and so we have a lot of sets coming up like Light Chorus, where it's like good, but probably not tier 1.
Yeah, yeah.
There's lots of those type of sets coming
We're gonna
up.
keep adding tier 2 and tier 3 like decks to the meta.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, like some enthusiasts like pushes it and like, you know,
I think that
crafts something out of it.
I
but
think
it's
Light Chorus is a deck that can win.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's not surprising if it and honestly, there's a couple other sets coming out that they can win.
Shauna, whenever both sets, but that's in the fall, right? We don't even have Dengeki like date announced, right?
No, there's a Shauna date, but not a Dengeki date.
Okay, well,
and
we
playing
need both.
Playing
Yeah.
Shauna without Dengeki is going to be very hard.
Yeah, we need both.
Like,
so,
the finisher is not in Shauna. It's in Dengeki.
it's in Dengeki, yeah.
And the 2-1 is not in Shauna.
It's in Dengeki.
It's in Dengeki.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's real awkward.
Yep.
So it's going to
Yeah.
be like when they announced Grisaya 1.
It's yeah.
You're gonna be like, well, crap. I guess buy it and like put it in a box and then put it in a room and then close the door and then wait for it to turn into a real boy. But yeah.
That's like the curse too. If that didn't sell good enough, then you might just never get it out of the box.
Yeah, it's tough. So
It's weird for them to release it and then we're like, well, Bushiroad, will we ever get a set 2? And they're like, well, son, I don't know.
yeah. In the case of Grisaya, they were like, no. So unlucky. But
Unlucky.
we'll see.
see.
I think other than Bochi the Rock, I think Bochi the Rock is
Yeah, that'll also be a winnable deck.
is like
Yeah.
I think it's the best of what's about to come out for the next few months.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
even then, it's like, is it really tier 1? And I would say no. So
Yeah. And that's it for our breaking news. And before our Spike Corner to kind of dive into all of the specific lists and all of the other regionals, we do have some commissions. We did do some ambitious deck building. And, man, congratulations to us. We just went through Springfest. And that means that if you want to give us $5 at any time or even once a month, you can get us to play your shit. We'll play anything you want. Steve's about to play fucking JoJo's. I just built a revue deck. Not even my choice-ish this time. Like, give us anything. We'll play it. You know, we'll talk about it on air. We'll let you know what we thought. And you can go find all of that on our Ko-fi page, whatever. ko-fi.com/refreshpointws. Commission us. Let us know what cards you want us to use. Doesn't even have to be combos. You can just be like, all right, idiots, play Ifrit. Just play Ifrit. And then we'll just do it. We'll just do it.
yeah, it turns out our hypocrisy knows no bound in this space. So,
and so, with that, here's some of the results from other people paying us to play their stuff. For Bromyos, we mentioned that we would play it some more. I played it some more. Man, I don't know. I don't know how to play Mume Kanadagura. I'm not really sure what other one combo I would try. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a hard ask.
It feels weird.
Yeah. That
but
deck has enough pieces junking up the trunk already, and so yeah, adding any more into it is tough.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. But like there's like the times where it like just works and you're like in the driver's seat, you're like the full gas, and you're like, yeah, fuck him up. I'm stocking all the 9 triggers too, and I'm like getting all the girls, I'm ready to go, and then it's like, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, the speed is rough.
But yeah, we'll post the list down. You can go back to cooking on your end with it. I'm not really sure where I would take it. I would probably just go back and make it just a Kanada Gorillas by itself, if anything. But on the other side of playing a Kanada thing, Steve.
So
you played 4th gen.
I did, and it felt pretty reasonable. I definitely had games where that event just won the game all by itself, where it was
nice.
like I had 2 markers and the discard character, and I was just like, pay 2, ditch 2, burn 4, 1 sticks, double marine, and they just die. And you're like, okay, all right, we did it.
Yeah, nice.
So I think overall that deck has got some decent legs.
Yeah.
Do
you think the Brainstormer is like necessary?
Yes.
You think so? Okay.
Like you will, unless you're getting like a whole bunch of Kanada turns in a row, like and like the board's not being disrupted. But that's not usually what my experience was with the deck. My experience was that I would get Kanada down, I would combo, and then even if I had another combo ready, a lot of times my Kanada would get disrupted. So
I mean, yeah, and one of the things is you're playing not 2 draw Brainstormers, so kind of is 11k instead of 12k.
Yeah,
which you might normally sit at.
Yeah, so a lot of times I would sculpt counters to try and manage it, but there were games where I would get forced off the board by something. Usually there's a few different flavors of guy that's really huge and will just knock cards off the board. But also, a lot of times I wouldn't get 2 Kanada turns. And so in those cases, you just you need I was brainstorming frequently, we'll say, because the deck speed of a Kanada Marine deck is legendarily bad. So you are brainstorming constantly, no matter how you play the deck, really. And so I was like, every time you get the event and it procs on the brainstorm, and then you get another little marker, you're like channeling the spirit bomb, and so like your opponent's watching they're watching this happen, and they're like, that's not good. Whatever that is not good. And so I was never able to pull it off for free in any game, but there were definitely times where I was like, I don't see any events in the waiting room. It's got to work. I jam the brainstorm, then it would reveal the event. I'm like, yes. So I think it's reasonable. Your mileage may vary on some matchups, but it's if you kind of need to be level 1 first, was my general experience. If you wanted the game to be as stable as possible, it's really good if you just hit level 1 first and then drop whatever combos you're gonna drop. Because Ina accelerates from the waiting room and because Aqua clocks from the waiting room, the color issues that you would normally experience in a deck like this were very mitigated. So a lot of times I would either accelerate to get green, or I would accelerate to get red, or yellow, or whatever, or I'm sorry, red, not yellow. But yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's playable for sure.
All right. Nice. Well, yeah, so that one's for you, Dark. get out there, stop playing slime. Apparently, you did not do so hot with it in Ontario. That's okay. You can go back to playing the 4th generation event. We've got a list for you to try. It's good. So I was messaging one of our supporters the other day. Shout out to our supporters. And Aaron asked, because we were kind of just like talking about me playing with the revue deck. Well, I saw that there were some people playing the bar finisher, X bar. And I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't play my waifu to any event. She's trash at killing people. It's clock kick, check top, top, bottom. That doesn't really kill anybody. He's like, no. The other one, Juno. And I was like, oh yeah. And because, like all of our supporters, you can pay $5 a month and get an ambitious tech commission every single month, or a copy of our first seconds. This time, I got to build Nana Juna. And here's what Juna says. 4 or more early play. 1,000 for each marker.
Is this a 3-2?
This is a 3-2.
Okay.
On attack, marker character from waiting room. So it's not a blind marker.
Sure. Anybody?
Nice. Any character.
Nice.
Yeah, any character. We have a 2-1 assist that can rest and give that 3-2 1-5 power till end of turn, and a marker if it doesn't already have one. And then it's also a 2k to level 3s. So after resting the assist and attacking, it's a 13k.
Can it get 2 markers?
It could get as many as it wants.
What I mean is that, wouldn't it be 14k? Because it would have 2 markers.
It's 9k base.
Oh, 9. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah, 13. And so the actual combo on par is at the end of the attack, pay 2, discard all of the markers, burn 1 for each marker.
Okay. I don't hate that.
It's not hexproof. And
don't get removed.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to phrase it.
You die to Adachi's, but you don't die to like slime or like conventional big guys, because we're gonna tell you to fuck off. Here's my 2-5 and or 3k punch.
Yeah, you're pretty much only vulnerable to early play, anti-early mechanics. And
but
guys
like,
that say that you can't play backups in their huge.
I hear there's a deck called Overlord that's making everybody Tekken these anti-early counters.
Yeah.
And siding does not get you a lot of joy.
Sometimes we have to forego our present joy for future joy.
Yeah, but
Yep. Welcome to every Overlord deck. I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes you gotta
it's worse
side.
Overlord. It doesn't heal, so you have to play it. To be fair, I gotta make the forum, the apology forum. You know all those memes. It's like, here's the apology forum for the goat, and it's like, so it's like, here's my form. I'm sorry, Karuko Hanayagi, early play 3-2 healer. I wrote you off because you needed some other girl to go to memory, and you needed to play a drop salvage in order to get that card into memory, and you needed to have 2 or less in order to be able to be played. But it turns out, because I play always a 2k to level 3 assist, and you are 11k always, and on direct attack you stock, you are in this list the GOAT. Signed, Ben. Turns out 13k, very annoying. And stock on direct attack, very nice for this finisher that needs to stock. So I wouldn't be able to play it in my pants store list because it's still too many pieces to jam into it.
Right.
But yeah, turns out when you can jam in the pieces, kind of just works.
Yeah, I mean, that all sounds like relatively
fine.
Reasonable.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. I don't hate it.
It feels fine. And so normally what happens generally with the pace of the game is you get 1 Juna, you marker, you swing, get a marker. The next turn, you play a second Juna, you marker, you swing, you get a marker, you swing, you get another marker, and you're probably gonna get 5 burn ones.
I mean, that's like the best scenario you could have, right?
It's actually pretty consistent to get there.
Like
the choice combo, salvages specific pieces from waiting room.
What I mean is that like, there's other ways to disrupt that guy.
Oh yeah,
and
you
so,
can get flickered.
Yeah, bounced.
You can get bounced.
Downgraded.
You can get downgraded.
And all those are like common mechanics.
They're very common mechanics.
And so like, there's lots of ways.
Chainsaw Man can clock Himeno and downgrade you immediately.
Yeah. No, they'll send you. No, believe it or not, directly to jail. Yeah.
So
that's like your good scenario, right? Like we
and
get
then
5 ones.
Yeah, but then there's the cracked scenario, right?
Sure.
Where you like
the game lasts too long.
Like you get, or because like
you get to attack like 3 times.
The nice thing is that even if that's like the setup and you know that there's counterplay coming, say, you can do the combo at any time.
Right.
So you could be at level 2 and just
drop it.
Drop it.
Yeah. Just
right?
drop
just
it.
Drop
like,
it.
Drop it. Yeah. Drop the beat and
like if the game goes on long enough and you got a fucking 3rd Juna somehow and the stock to pay for all 3 of them, well, goodbye. There's 8 burn ones coming down. Go directly to hell. Like, see you later.
Yeah, it's definitely it's reminiscent of Aki / Overlord at home.
Yeah.
But like, it does put an intense amount of like onus on your opponent to manage it.
True.
Because it's like, I mean, that's pretty sort of Damocles style, where it's like you see every time a marker goes on, you're just gonna be like, it's getting worse.
It's another burn
It's getting worse.
And I will say, you know, not for nothing, that you can get like 5 marker compression by the 2nd Juna coming down, right? And there's like a card that pays 1 sack self to play a character from your hand that's at your level. So you could even set it up, like if you have enough stock in hand to finagle it, like that 0 counts as the 4th character on board.
Right.
Sacks itself,
right.
Gets 1,
right.
Then you pay 2 for another one, because now you have 4 more characters on board.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like lots of funny stuff you can do here.
What's the other combo that goes with this?
It's a choice combo. It swings if you have a full board at 8k, otherwise at like I think at a 6k, and it's just on attack salvage, and it has a soul trigger on it.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
Choice bar is one of the more cursed climax configurations.
Yes.
It's been attempted by several decks, but
yes.
This
is the waifu for that character. Like, this is the one fated pairing from the show.
Right.
So we wanted to try it, and also you get access to like 4 double trigger cards in yellow to like help keep the stock clean, and to try.
Yeah.
And a stock bomb that's also a drop salvage to kind of like help hand fix. Try to keep the stock clean. Chainsaw Man randomly.
If my combo is on attack salvage, I feel like my deck speed is not going to be very good.
We have Brainstorm, a Mill 5 Akatsuki, and double triggering.
Well, so we brainstorm every turn, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is fine,
yeah.
I guess. Is there any way to get more money? No? We just need a block?
We have choice?
Yeah, choice, I guess. Sure.
You could play the giraffe.
I guess I don't know, like you...
And the giraffe, I will say, I'm playing in my pants door list because the giraffe is nice, who is a level 0, check 3, leave it right there. When they play a climax, it goes to stock.
Yeah, like...
You could play the giraffe.
It's like a fancy hand to stock, but...
Yeah.
I think, maybe with enough twin driving, like, you'll get what you need.
Yeah, no, it's like...
Because you're gonna trigger choice climaxes probably like once a game, considering the amount of twin driving you do, or maybe twice a game.
Dude, twice a game has been pretty freaking for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, and also once you play the healer down, like
in an ideal world, right? You're holding one of the choice climaxes. So
yeah.
That
mitigates that things.
Yeah. But after a while, like you're not gonna want to pick it up anymore.
It's honestly funny that you don't want this fucking bar until you're level 3.
Yeah.
And so it's like preferable to like get the marker girl down and rejam your one combo so you just get hand more.
Yeah. Honestly, once that thing's down, any climax will do. Like I wouldn't pitch a bar if I was like, if my choice is play it or not play it. I just play it.
True.
Because the other benefit of twin driving with bar is that like the chance of me not having is pretty low. I'll probably trigger more bars.
Yeah. It's actually funny. I also played, because after I play tested this, I was like, ooh, I kind of like this, but man, I hate triggering bar. Well, I do have a bar assistance set. It's the nice one. It's like a level. It's a nice one. It's a level assist and a trigger bar, discard, salvage from clock, reclock, right?
Yeah. The only downside there, of course, being that it hogs space with the character that puts markers on your.
So you can't really
finisher.
play it. Yeah. And so I was playing it with my like waifu Mahiru finisher for fun. I was like, wow, this is great. This like in 12-5 healers hogging the board, getting stock, and like triggering bars and getting rid of them, getting cards I want. How do I end the game? Fuck.
Yeah. Honestly, the exact same problem that the Fate 8 bar deck had was it was all well and good until you needed to win, and then it was like things got really complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's a reason they don't put that mechanic onto very many cards anymore. Like there's 2 types of supports that are climax-based supports that if your set has them, you're dealing with extraordinary luxury. The bar that swaps from the clock, which is like the Sakura and this card, and like very few instances of that have ever been printed. And then the pants that swaps from the waiting room. Yeah. Like that. That's real good. The mob one / Kirito one that was restricted for forever, and like they never print that. Yeah. And so if you have that, like, yeah, you're good to go. Like they destroyed all of Mob's pants combos so they could print that card.
I think the Mob's 3 combos, okay-ish.
Yeah.
The 1 combo is... Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where, like, if you have that, I promise whatever your pants combos are, they won't be reasonable. But
yeah, so Aaron, you can play Nan and Juna, and it can work. Just don't get counterplayed. Copium. Yeah. I will say, you can tech in a level 1 blue dancer from set 1 to try to avoid adachis if you know that's coming. It's pay 2. You're gonna be poor for the rest of the game.
Pay 2?
Yeah, to dance.
Never mind.
Because it's a free card. It's a free card.
Gamble. Never mind. Don't pay 2. Just send it. And if it doesn't work, then maybe it wasn't meant to work. Just don't do that. That sounds horrible. No.
Well, you can do that.
We don't do that.
And for the last ambitious deck that we're looking at today, it's time to talk about JoJo's!
We're here. Finally.
Well, not JoJo, but JoJo.
Yeah.
Giorno Giovanna. Technically, we're actually not even playing him. Well, we were playing his Brainstormer. Steve, John told you to make a JoJo's list.
Yeah.
And he told you specifically to use the win level 1 combo and the bar combo. That double combos with the level 1 that blind stocks and salvages the finisher. And the finisher, which is pay 2, ditch 2. Pay 2, ditch 2 on attack. Minus 3k to a guy. And burn 4.
Yes.
More expensive last shot.
Yes.
And it doesn't do anything like hand or stock plussing on play. It like minuses everybody's power by their level on play because it's the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, it's definitely something.
Yeah, how do we feel about this, Steve?
It blows up your opponent's board pretty much. Like, there's no way most of their board lives, but you're a 3. So it's one of those things where, like, if you're level 3, then do they even care if their board dies and they're not level 3?
Yeah.
So it's not great. But
Alright.
we're going to try. And what we learned, I've never looked at this card pool before. So I spent time looking at every card in the card pool. And what I learned was these two colors, yellow and green, suck.
Yeah.
These colors suck. They are terrible. The worst colors in the set, maybe. But, I don't know. It's competitive for the worst colors in the set. So
I don't think it can be blue, to be fair. I think
blue is
has
the best color in the set.
Yeah, like blue has too much good stuff.
Yeah,
it
no.
can't be the worst.
It's unarguable that blue is the best color
and
in the set.
arguably, a fully blue deck would actually be probably not the worst. Like,
You'd have to play book, but like
no, you didn't. I mean, you could play the pants one combo. Fuck it. Just draw.
the Pence 1 combo is really bad.
Yeah, but so is book. So like,
They're all just bad.
who's counting?
This is the only good level 1 combo.
This is, but it's on wind.
And yep, so we're playing Wind Bar.
You gotta get a little golden wind in there. That's why, you know,
Is
the heroes combos are on wind.
Yeah, but they don't call. I don't know.
The yellow one combo is on wind.
Yes.
And he's one of the heroes.
Okay.
And then Jono Giovanna, the protagonist, is on wind, and he's the finisher.
I don't know any of these characters. I've never seen this show.
All right.
But
Well, now you know.
now that we've gotten
The protagonists in yellow got wind.
now that we've
because
gotten
it's
the
golden
lore out
wind.
of the way,
Got him. The flavor.
let's talk about this deck.
He paused. He had to take a second.
First off,
it was mentally hurting him to call it a deck.
this double combo, horrible. It's just horrible. So like Ben was messaging me while I was building it, and he's like, "Are you just gonna ignore this double combo?" I was like, "Yep, yep. We're just gonna pretend like it's not there." For full disclosure, it's like
I did say it. It's on reverse. Get blind stock and salvage the finisher from waiting room. You only get power if this other random 1-0
That.
gets reversed
Yeah, that.
and goes to memory.
it has this other piece to it that is untenable, where it's like if the whole level 1's green, fine, but it's not, and so the last thing I want to do is jam in not just one green level 1. Oh no, we'll need 2 green level 1s, and I need them both kind of at 4, or they don't really work. So, no.
Ignore it.
Yeah, we're not gonna do any of that.
All right.
We're instead gonna try this promo that I think is not horrible.
Yeah.
So they have a blue cost 0 bottom deck bomb that gives 500 on attack to another character, which is fine. It gets the 1-0 combo character into like range where it can beat probably most level 1s. That should put it at 7-5. So that's fine. This 0 game for JoJo is kind of littered with a whole bunch of random mechanics. Some of them very playable, some of them a lot less so. So they do get a very nice, they get a drop search that's got overspec power. They've got minus 500 to all. Power manipulation is very common in this set, especially minus power manipulation. So we've got that. We've got hand to stock so that we can frantically use all of our stock to keep our hand up during the game. Their climax swap is straight up level 2 and yellow. So we're gonna run it. We're gonna run it. Because I'm familiar with having a level 2 stock swap because the Alicization deck that I have at max rarity, its stock swap is level 2.
Nice.
So no problems there. I'm okay with it. And then we only have one early play of any value whatsoever, and so we gotta run it. It's a 2 or fewer early play, which should work out given our abysmal deck speed. Like, we definitely won't be through deck 1 by the time we're level 2, probably. So we should be able to just play this bad boy. The finisher is fine.
I just mentioned it, yeah.
If your opponent gets off kilter a little bit, like, they can just die.
And you also ran, I do like this card, an off finisher that mills 5 on play and burns for a number of climaxes milled.
Yeah, why not? Like,
and it's kind of just free, because like other like recent profiles of this will make you like pay for that effect. And this was just like on play, do it.
Yeah, so climaxes are very little value by the time you're 3 anyway. The best thing they can turn into is damage. You can play this guy in the backstage alongside like your triple combo, assuming the game is like in that kind of
triple combo.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you think you're playing, Steve?
Well, also
it's pay to ditch 2 on it. How do you pay for that?
All right, so maybe you can't triple combo. So this gets to occupy the other slot.
All right, there we go.
But yeah. I think it will perform like adequately. We do have pay 1 and ditch 1 to check 3 and add 1 as our
ditch character.
Is it character?
It's character.
Yeah, to check 3 and add. I think that's common. To check 3 and add 1 so that we can like force the wind climax into hand if the situation isn't appropriate.
And I think it's interesting you played 3 of the Narantia 0. It's like just draw a ditch.
So I kind of like this card. I like Draw Ditch. It also has a cheeky mill 2 and give a character minus 1,000 power. So
just randomly just fuck Overlord just for no reason sometimes.
Has to hit the center stage, so like sometimes it'll be valuable, sometimes it won't.
Yep.
You don't have a whole lot of like 0 power, so maybe you can use that to like get over on your opponent in specific setups.
Yep.
Their Ricky is salvage, but that's fine, honestly. Like, we'll take what we can get.
And it's a 3K.
It's a 3K, sort of. It has, like, a random non-real field condition, but they have a pay 1 and tap 2 to do the mill 2 and salvage equal to the combined levels.
That is my favorite card.
And then on trigger check, we can give 1,000, so that's, like, kind of fine.
Yeah.
We can use that to, like, re-combo them frequently or re-bomb them over and over again. So
yeah, it's like in a set that like, you know, you're kind of fighting it. It's like, I gotta play fucking wind trigger and I gotta play these guys that suck, but at least I can play this guy and +1 every single turn.
Yeah, so I kind of tailored the colors to fit like kind of the way the game's gonna play. There are no good green cards, guys. Like
that card we just mentioned, the cigarettes guy, he's probably the best one.
Yeah, they have this drop searcher that's like minus 500 to all, but it's got 500 power, which is like feels like a heavy cost for minus 500 to all.
I mean, it's level 0. Do we really care?
But or minus 500 to all center stage. Clearly, this is not gonna hit the back row. But it does search.
Yeah.
And there's very little searching in the set, so we'll take it. The brainstorm is search, which is fine. Again, I think the deck speed of this deck will be kind of meh, and
pretty suspect, yeah.
So search is okay, and it's got a random hilarious pay 1 bounce a cost 0 character, which will
it's cost 0.
It will piss off Chainsaw Man horribly because
I thought it was. I forgot. I thought it was
randomly
level
get
0.
over now on them where you're like. Bounce 1, bomb 1, clear the 3rd one.
I'm actually kind of mad. I thought it was level 0, and I thought that it would fuck Luna randomly.
It kind of does that too, though.
Does it?
Sure.
Like cost 0?
Well, no. Like it doesn't. Yeah, obviously it doesn't matter there, but like
you do get funny Kashibe bounce.
It is. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, which we're kind of down for that, so it's fine. And then, yeah, I don't know what you do on the top end. You can't triple combo.
Oh, you can... Wait, why is this randomly... This brainstorm's randomly cutting gas right now. You can bounce Fiona.
Yeah, yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no.
That's so funny.
I was like, this is the brainstorm for sure. Like, there's nothing else that's even remotely good.
No, this is the only, like, Brainstorm in the set, basically.
Yeah.
But also, randomly, bouncing cost zeros for pay 1 is kind of nice. It's on an act. If you need to pay a climax that's 3 down and they just play like Spy, you have like the most funny counterplay in the universe. Bounce all 3 of the guys that change into your hand. Good luck.
Yeah, I'll say this: bouncing them and then getting them into a refresh is hilarious. But
yeah.
But
all right, and we have like a bottom deck bomb too. And,
Yeah.
Okay, this is like one of the most hateful Spy decks like in existence.
I honestly
here.
I sculpted this a little for the meta, but yeah, I also threw in, they have a guy that's like pitches climax to salvage, which is not a common mechanic that people really want anymore, but.
I mean, we're playing Bard.
I discovered that we have very few ways to discard cards that are climaxes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna need something. This is the other reason I leaned into that blue character. It can discard climaxes. So by drawing and ditching.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fine. Like we'll take anything we can get at this point in terms of hand fixing.
And I'll mention near the end here, if you want the Trish bottom deck bomb that we're running, you will have to wait for the reprint, which hopefully has box toppers in it.
Is this a box topper?
This is a box topper.
Oof.
Not only that, I definitely just ordered the last 2 copies on TCG Player because I wanted to make sure I had it too. I thought, maybe there'll be a couple of copies, and there's 2.
Well, hopefully you have the other 2.
I know I have 1.
Yeah, so
maybe I'll just run 3.
Yeah, we may be headed to we may be printing proxies, but because I don't care. But yeah, we have a deck we can try. I will report back on its effectiveness.
Oh, you haven't played it yet?
No, I haven't played it yet. But yeah, I think it's okay. Like,
you think it's okay?
Like for a mid-tier deck,
you think it's a mid-tier deck?
Like
that's bold.
I mean.
I guess, honestly, into the current meta, it kind of is. We just fucking, hate all over the enemies.
It has an okay game plan.
Yeah.
The finisher is too expensive, and so, I feel like that's where you'll probably fall short most games. But...
I noticed that we're playing 4 hand-to-stock Mistas.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep the game,
I don't know we have the hand for that, but, bold take, we can try for that.
The thing is that we can always translate a climax into a card in hand using this card. So... Fair enough. By using the pay 1 and tap 2 guy.
Yeah, true. So we can always have guys in our hand.
We can always make a guy out of something.
True.
And so, if your hand is mostly unplayable, we can turn one of those into a playable.
Yeah, maybe this is the wave.
So, I'm gonna try that guy.
I'm surprised that you're running the 2/6 guy at 2. That's honestly the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah, I'm not sold on the 2/6 guy in general, but we're gonna try. I don't like competing with the brainstorm on board.
That's true, and it does rest 2, so frequently you'll have to pick.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the real problem.
It's pay 1 and ditch 2, so I want to have brainstorm priority. This thing is the backup, or if the deck is stable, and I don't want to brainstorm, but I want to add a card to my hand. I got this thing that I can just add a card to hand with. Honestly, that green character will probably be one of the first things picked up by the combo. It's a 0 and it has continuing value throughout the game, and it's fine.
Yeah.
So we can just pick that up. But my only concern is on the top end. 2 cigarettes doesn't look very good when you have this few high level cards. But we should be able to pick up at least 1 level 3 probably if we triple combo. So we're just gonna want to make sure we have the Bushiorati. There you go. That healer, we're gonna need that every game forever. So
yeah, because turns out, even though he dies after you discard to save him, hear me out, that's still 2 turns of swinging with him.
Yeah.
And you can discard any card, including these bars we're about to trigger.
Yeah, so we definitely want that. If anything, I'll probably, if I was going to make any changes initially that look like they're going to already happen, I just haven't done them yet, there'll probably be a 0 or 2 trimmed off to get more of this blue 3 in there, just because there's no way I can triple combo, and there's only 1 of it, and my sculpting is really bad. So we'll see. I kind of dig this 2-1 also. Like, it's the only support of any real value. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So we will see. John, we got your back. All the other, like, 2 JoJo's fans, we got your back too. And all 16 plus Revue Starlight fans, confirmed at least 16 players in the entire world. We made sure of it. We got your back too. I'm cooking a little bit. Fun little stat that we got from Avis, the maintainer of Weiss Tea Time. The Revue Starlight list was the 4th most clicked linked list this week. Just why not? I think too funny.
Well, I don't know. It's one of those things that makes sense to me because the meta is kind of been not different for a while. If anything, one of the most surprising things to come out of these first few Springfests for me is the distinct lack of spy decks.
Really?
Nobody, like, very few teams are piloting this thing to top 8. Like, there's 3 in England, which was the smallest event, 1 in Houston, and none in California.
Oh, true. Actually, you're right.
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Is that deck just? I don't know.
I don't know.
Feels like it's fine. I really enjoy the spy deck that got piloted to top 4 in Houston. That deck.
Yeah, he beat my ass.
That deck sends me because it is exactly the way that we had kind of discussed building it. Me and a friend of mine had discussed building it, but not the way we built it. So this one built around. This is Pants Door with your finisher. But
yeah, and in case you didn't realize, we are in the spike corner.
Yeah,
we just slid right in.
Yeah,
in case you forgot,
it happened so easily.
Yeah, it's time. So actually, before we really get into the analysis, I do want to play a game.
Okay.
It's time for Guess That Record! Woo! Keep the applause. I'm gonna edit in applause. Now then, here's how the game's gonna play. I will tell you the set and deck that are a top 8 player played at one of the 3 previous Springfests. Your job, contestant, is to guess the exact record of the player through Swiss and top 8, equipped with your intuition as a Weiss Schwarz player. I'll tell you some details about the deck and the total number of games played, and you'll have 10 seconds to buzz in and give me your answer. Right on the money gets you 3 points. 1 off either way gets you 1 point. And feel free to play along at home, audience, but don't forget that honesty is the best policy when posting your score in the comments. And our only contestant for today, coming down from Mansfield, Texas, is Steven Lafollette. Woo! Yay! Congratulations, you're here. All right, contestant, are you ready to guess that record?
I sure am. Let's get it.
All right, let me pull up the thing because I had to pull up a different thing. All right. Oh, and one more thing, contestants. Steve will be buzzing whenever he pleases, but I'll be giving you the full 10 seconds to guess your answer right before I reveal the truth to you all. And with that, good luck. And so, player 1, coming in from California, they were playing Caligura to a 3rd place finish. 10 total games. Guess that record.
All right, well, as a Caligura enthusiast, I'm gonna go ahead and...
All right, now then, contestant, guess that record.
I'm gonna say 9-1.
9-1. It is 82.
Ooh, I was close.
One off. That's a point. That's a point. That's a point. Very good. Very strong. Very strong start. Strong start. All right. Second deck coming on up. Tressa's Collectibles and John from California both played Henderson. Tressa's Collectibles Henderson player, I believe his name is Brian. I wasn't sure. I didn't double check. Sorry. He played 8 total games. Guess that record.
8 games. So we're talking about maybe 5-3.
5-3. He's good, chat. It's 6-2.
Woo,
Henderson did very well at this event.
Hendrickson is unironically terrifying to face.
Yeah, we just don't have a lot of Hendrickson players in Dallas. But in any case, number 3 in second place, there was a Chainsaw Man player alongside Jon and Jesse from California. Guess that record. It is Himinoaki, and it's 10 games.
All right, are you trying to bait me, or are we trying to figure out like the best deck ever? 8-2.
It's 4-6.
Oh,
big loser!
Oh! How do you go 4-6?
He just ate it. He was like 2-4 in Swiss, but then he like woke up in top 8, unlike me. He woke up in top 8 and got two more games off that rip.
Damn, 4-6, brother, help!
Unlucky. And next up,
I knew it was a bait.
Going on next, it's Jesse, champion of Mexico, player of Nino, enjoyer. Second place. Guess that record.
All right, 10 games.
10 games.
So we know that one of his teammates didn't do great. So I'm gonna say 7-3.
One off. It's 8-2.
Yeah.
It was actually the acre. It was. I was so surprised when like Jon told me. He was like, "Yeah, bro, use carrot." I was like, "Damn,
dude, when
my bad."
Yeah, one tricking a deck can lead to long-term success in Weiss Schwarz, even if it's not peak meta. Just want that to be the lesson to everyone at home. If you spend all of your Weiss Schwarz time playing one deck in particular, yeah, you're gonna get good at that deck.
Yep, absolutely. And coming on down, it's a different Nino player from Houston. Guess that record.
How many games?
That's 7 games for you, Steve.
7 games.
10.
All right. Am I getting baited again? Four and 3.
4-3. The answer is 2-5. Boom.
Yeah, even worse than I guessed.
Yeah, our buddy from our buddy Hugh played Nino, and he ate it.
Wow.
Unlucky.
Wow.
One Nino to a different one.
2-5. Oh my lord. This is what happens when you betray your waifu. In case you were curious, he went against his waifu. I should have known. Damn it.
True. All right. Next on the list, Jonathan Popa on my team, the Good Doctor, played Avatar: The Last Airbender. Bars standby. 9 games. Guess that record.
Eight and 1.
6-3.
Wow!
Woo! I had 3 wins, and one of them did matter, Steve. I had to pick up for him on round 2.
I honestly thought, like, it felt like he couldn't lose that day. Like, whenever I looked over there, it was always just, like, game-winning situations. Like,
yeah.
he dunked Riaz in top 8. I was like, man, this guy is on one. Like,
True. He was pretty hot. He was running pretty hot on that day. That's true. All right. Second to last. Let's see what we can get. In the UK, some enjoyer played Gun Gale Online, Sow Alternative. Guess that record.
how many rounds?
9 rounds,
right.
8 door, 4 vents, anti-tank gun.
9 rounds.
All right, welcome back, listeners. I can't do math sometimes or prep properly. So actually, the GGO player was 6-2 in 8 rounds.
That's crazy.
6-2. Boom.
Wow.
They only lost some of their top 8 games. They
That's
won
nuts.
everything else.
I guess, like, if you're not ready for it, like, you can get
Die.
bamboozled.
Die.
I don't know.
All right.
That's wild.
Final round. It is the spy in first.
Okay.
Pant's choice.
Right.
Guess that record.
8 games?
8 games.
All right. 8-0.
4-4.
Wow.
Boom. But. And now it's time for the actual topic of conversation here. They threw, I believe it was 2 or 3 games because their team had already won. Because they wanted to get the brain space saved and like save the energy throughout the day. So once the team won, he just threw the game.
Huh.
So
I was probably like half right, but
maybe.
yeah. Anyway.
So like talking about that strategy,
Sure.
and like, you know, kind of like in the team's format.
Right.
If you look to your left and right, and your homies have picked up the dub for you,
Yeah.
do you just stop?
I think it's a complicated question. I wouldn't, and here's why. I don't think that I don't think it's reasonable in Weiss Schwarz to guard your deck list, like from people figuring out some kind of secret tech. I don't think that that's a reasonable strategy. But what I do think is reasonable is practicing like against like a sequence, you know, to make sure you understand it fully, like in the context of the way that the game is going. So maybe that person thought that there was some benefit there, either to themselves by like so that they could like just not think about how to finish the game, or to like prevent people from seeing like specific tech. But my problem is that the game is probably advanced enough to where you've already shown the entire deck at that point. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that wasn't given as a reason for it, right? The reason given was that we've already won.
Yeah.
I'd like to stop thinking.
Sure.
And like chill and like have more downtime in between games so that I'm like more ready to go for all of the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reason to do something for sure. I don't personally think I would agree with that strategy, just because it does a poor job of preparing you for what will eventually happen, which is long 1v1 tournaments at much higher stakes. So, but if that's not interesting or part of how your Weiss Schwarz experience, then sure. I mean, that's not a problem. But I don't know. I want to see those games play out, because practicing the end game of a game is like a big part of being successful at Weiss Schwarz. I rarely scoop up games because the game always desires drama, and there will be in most games a situation in which you can return to, you can get the game stable again and compete.
Yeah.
And I think I think for me, I would never scoop up a game like mid-tournament if I had an opportunity to be like, well, let's see what happens when we play this out. Like, the chance of you never seeing that matchup for the rest of the day, it seems very unlikely in the context of a tournament. It's much more likely you will see the exact same setup again, or a similar setup, and I think practicing how to navigate that, or at the very least, if you do it wrong, you can see what was wrong about it and how to not navigate it that way in the future. So I don't know. Like, that's a question for each individual player. If you find yourself mentally fatigued by long events, if you find yourself physically fatigued by long events, and now with the way that the time rules are and with Bushi Navi, there is very little downtime between rounds. Rounds transition extremely quickly into the future rounds, so getting time to go to the bathroom, getting time to eat is like very awkward. So I understand where they're coming from in that perspective, but I don't know. I'd love to see other people's comments about this. So feel free to add in the comments of the YouTube or message us directly on Twitter,
Get in the comments.
And let us know what you think. Like, would you do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
We actually, Billy asked about it at Houston.
Yeah.
We were like, we asked one of the judges, we were like, hey, like, if we just know our team has won, can our members scoop it up? And is that legal? And he was like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
You can't, obviously you can't force your opponent to scoop, but like, you can scoop.
You can
right?
concede the game at any time.
As we've mentioned this multiple times, it bears worth repeating. You can scoop up the game at any time.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's an interesting question.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if you have played just like enough, maybe there's a point where you just like, you know, that mental and physical fatigue can get to you.
Yeah.
And like, you know, your team's won, then especially because of the way they report it in Bushi Navi right now.
Right.
It's team report.
Right.
You report when one team fully on wins or loses.
Right.
So the individual game results, like, I had to fucking like hunt down motherfuckers to get these game results. I was like, all right, my boys in Cali, like, who won? What's their records? What's going on? Hey, my boy Steve, well, UK, do you know
Yeah.
anybody's records? Can you inform?
Yeah.
So like, you know, because it's not, it's just not recorded anywhere.
Right, exactly. And in a way, it doesn't matter.
In a way, it doesn't matter, yeah. But
Like-
it's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, if you didn't listen to this podcast, or you didn't go to, like, Twitter, and you just fucking opened up Weiss Tea Time, and you looked at Houston, you're like, and you were just some fucking sucker. You're like, oh my god, maybe Starlight got third. My god, that deck's playable. Holy shit.
Yeah. I will.
And then you just don't know. How could you know that clown got 3 and 6?
What's fun and informative about Springfest, and I think this should be people's takeaway whenever they see weird shit in the top 8, is these are the decks that are definitely playable and are existing on the fringe of the meta. So the reason these decks don't show up in singles play is because they're not there. They're almost there. And
They
so
just get washed out.
there's a lot of almost there decks in Weiss Schwarz. I think once you get past the most competitive tier of Weiss Schwarz, like the very peak meta, those decks are going to push hard on every deck beneath them. But once you're down a tier, everything feels a lot more competitive. Like, if we just deleted the top tier of Weiss Schwarz, then it would be very hard to guess how it would turn out. Because
Yeah, like if you just say, if right now today we sat down and we're like, Overlord, Hololive, Slime, sure, Atla, what else would
CSM.
we? CSM, and even SDS. Why not? If we just removed all of them,
yeah,
then what's left behind becomes like very murky. Like Quince is good, but then also like Spy is
Guilty
good.
Gear.
Guilty Gear can be good. Like just a lot of things will just kind of rise up, and because Weiss is such a small game, I always disregard every tier, like every tier list that anybody ever comes out with that's like tier 2 and below. Just completely disregard it. There's no way that you're playing with enough people every week that are playing like literally all of these sets to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
To like judge where they might land, right?
No.
The fucking Avatar player has been topping every fucking like Duluth event for the last like 2-3 years. Like I, you know, like who are you to say that you faced enough of fucking standby choice to rate it between Dragon Maid and Grisaya?
Yeah.
As an example, right?
Yeah, like, the thing is that a bunch of older stuff now is probably not played in most places, and so people's experience with it is, like, literally zero. So, whenever you see that deck coming out of somewhere, like, you're gonna rate it whatever you think, like, just eyeballing it. But I'm here to tell you that I have seen tier lists with Adventure Time at F, like, rank 4, bottom tier, the last tier.
Yeah.
And that deck literally got top 8 at Worlds. Like, there's gonna be a day for most decks. And like if you're a protagonist that day, like everybody just needs to get out of your way. There was almost that day for win choice Konosuba, like Darkness Waifu.
Yeah.
Like I nearly got executed by that deck.
We actually full lost to that team.
Yeah, and that team got top. Yeah, that team
got top 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are players. Yeah, they're in there.
And so like it's one of those things where it's not appropriate to, like, they need to just make the bottom tiers bigger. Like if I could tell anything to Kevin when making these tier lists, it's like once we get past tier 1 and tier 2, everything else is kind of in the same tier. Where it's like, some decks you haven't played lately that definitely can beat you, but probably are going to die to either themselves or like lack of sufficient outs to the way the game is.
And like the interesting about like tier lists in general to me right now, that's probably going to be kind of like near the end of our time. We talk a lot. We like to talk a lot. It's been like an hour and 20 minutes. But is like it's not like a fighting game.
No.
Like in a fighting game, you have the freaks that will just play that character. You got fucking Snake Eyes bringing Zangief, you know, to the Pro Tour, and you know that guy's been pushing Zangief for forever. Like, do we really know somebody out there that has played Dragon Maid since release and is still doing so and trying to push it to the very limits of that deck's performance?
Yeah, but we do know some of these people.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Like the same guy that got top 8 with Adventure Time has probably been playing the standby choice Adventure Time for years, I would guess.
Yeah.
And I know personally that the guy that plays the Win Choice Darkness deck has been hard pushing that deck for years. So there are one tricks in Weiss. They're out there, and it's the spookiest matchups ever.
It's super pernicious.
Yeah.
Because it's not, and it's why it's not like a fighting game.
Yeah.
Because like, at least in a fighting game, you can kind of know the cast of characters.
Yeah.
And like, you can be familiar with all of it. You're not gonna fucking know every single mid-tier Weiss deck.
No.
What the fuck?
Or
you
what
probably
they do.
can't.
Yeah.
You probably can't remember all of them from like one set that you've never like looked at before.
Yeah, and especially if the set was disregarded on release. Like Horus is gonna be this deck. Like Horus is gonna be this deck. Where like someone's gonna hard jam that set for the entire time that it's out. And then it's not gonna be very performant at tournaments. Or Kaguya is this set, where it's like not very performant at tournaments, but people definitely know about it, but they're not facing it regularly. And then when it comes out of the woodwork during a BCS event, you're gonna be terrified, because that person definitely knows how to beat you, and you definitely don't know how to beat them. And because they've been practicing against your matchup, whatever you're playing. If you're playing meta, people know meta, but people aren't practicing non-meta. Like, they're just not. And so you can get bodied by decks that do stuff that you're
I mean, it was kind of the joke that I was talking about. Like, I don't know if I mentioned in the last episode, but I was like, yeah, I get to just fucking practice Slime, CSM, Hololive, all the good stuff, Avatar, Ari Ferretti even, you know, we got a few jammers of that. That's like probably a little bit higher than like just mid-tier, like below decks, but even so. And I'm just fucking playing Revue Starlight. Take the stage, girls, baby. Oh, fucking nobody else is playing Revue. Got news for you.
Yeah, so those type of practices only benefit the person that's on one side of it.
Exactly.
And so, like, if you're interested in playing mid-tier decks, the best, and performing with them, the best thing you can do is just jam that thing into the hardest meta decks that you can find. And if you beat those people even like 50-50 or 40-60, then that's sendable. We can send that.
Yeah.
Like, if it's 30-70 or worse, then maybe no.
Maybe don't.
But if you're constantly in it, then I mean, you definitely got something.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And so we're kind of pushing our time today. So we'll get back into things next episode and take a little bit of a deeper dive into some of the lists and some of the new Springfests that will happen. I believe there will be one or two between the time we record and if I can scroll up here. Yeah, so March 31st will be Toronto. That'll happen basically when we record the next one or right before we record the next one. And then Melbourne and Barcelona will happen on April 6th, kind of like shortly afterwards. So we'll have a bunch of lists to discuss, a lot of results to go over. Shout out to a fan who came up to us in Houston, beat my ass with Panspar CSM, but unlucky, my team can pick me up. Sorry to say it, but thanks for saying hi to us, Brian. Please, I want this to be right. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure his name is Brian. I'm so bad with names. It's really bad. But thank you for taking a picture with us. He's one of the, what is it? One of the newer Oklahoma players, I believe. And so is his whole team. Thanks for stopping by. Whenever you listen to this episode on one of your long night shifts, shout outs to you, man. You got my ass. Just unlucky. I got some homies. Back me up. Lift my corpse up out of the ground a little bit.
Yeah. Whenever we get recognized at events, it's always Ben. It's never me. So luckily,
because I always shout and laugh, and apparently my laugh is recognizable.
It's extremely distinctive.
Okay.
That's
right.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah. That's
I like you just the way you are.
And there it is again. Yeah, I guess, if you want to confirm if it's a distinctive laugh, you can just hear it right then and there.
If you listen to the podcast enough, yeah.
And there you are. So, thank you, everybody, for listening. That's going to be our show for today. So, tune in next time after your next deck out. And don't you forget to take the refresh point.